This is the FCB Radio Network, home of the best personalities and where real talk lives. Online at fcbradio.com. FCB.
Welcome to a very special edition of Just Listen to Yourself with Kira Davis. I am your host, Kira Davis. Today is a mini-sode, trying something new. I love to talk. Everybody who knows me knows this. I love talking. Oops, sorry, dropped my pen. And I love breaking things down. And on any given day, you guys, I walk by 12 things that I think, oh my gosh, I wish I was on the mic to talk about this. And so I thought, well, what if I started doing little bonus episodes, mini-sodes? So nothing that would replace my regular weekly episode, but a little extra content for you during the week. Mostly, I mean, to be honest, I love you guys, but it's not really about you. It's about me wanting to say things. I just love talking. So I'm trying this mini-sode thing. And what I'm hoping to do with it is to bring in interviews with people that you like, that you might want to hear from, that I think might be interesting. Just doing half-hour bits, 25 minutes, nothing crazy. Y'all know this is a challenge for me because I can make this, and I bet you any money I have trouble staying under 30 minutes, even though I'm thinking already of this as a mini-sode in my mind. I have to cut it off at 30 minutes. That is my goal at the latest, at the most. The goal is to just give you quick bites. But today I want to talk about slogans. You know, I walk if you're a regular listener to this show, you know that I walk my dog every day and I walk by houses with that sign in front of their home. Hate has no home here. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate those signs. I'm going to call my freaking HOA because how long do I have to look at this sign? Some people have had these signs in front of their home since Trump got elected. And we don't have President Trump anymore. Why are the signs still up there? I thought this is Biden's America now. Isn't everything perfect? Take the sign down. The reason I hate the sign is because no one is thinking about what is behind the sign. So I feel like I can justify this as a JLTY because I want us to draw out some of these slogans to their logical conclusion. This is definitely talking point territory. Slogans are great for branding, but we have relied too much on them as actual intelligent discourse. So when you see a slogan or you hear one, you go, yeah, I want you to take the time to actually examine it and ask yourself, what is it really saying? And am I behind it? And I get it. Like some things are just like, where's the beef? Okay, whatever. That's marketing. But I'm talking about a lot of political stuff. It sounds good on the surface, but what are they really saying? And can you justify it? Can you justify this slogan? Hate has no home here is a lie that cannot be justified. It's a lie. If I talk to the people inside the house, I will find what they hate. The reason that the sign is up there in the first place is because they perceived Donald Trump to be hateful and a hate monger in 2016. And so they bought that media narrative and they want everyone to know that they're a good person and they don't hate anyone, but the sign is directed at the people that they hate. The sign, I hate you for being a MAGA-loving, redneck, homophobic, sexist, racist, whateverist person, Trump voter. And this sign is for you to let you know that you have no place in my home because I hate you. And hate has no home here. See, it's a lie. And every time I see it, I think it's a lie. It's one of those warm lies. It's a warm lie that makes you feel good inside. But it is a lie. You are hateful. You hate somebody. You hate someone. Someone who would put that, the people who are the most loving people I know that I've ever met in my life, they don't have these signs in front of their houses because people who are loving and tolerant don't need to put signs in front of their houses to tell people that they're loving and tolerant. So I hate the sign and it always drives me bananas. And I was walking the dog yesterday and I'm like, okay, let's talk about slogans. I don't know if I could make a whole episode out of it, but let's try this mini-sode thing. And next week, I'm hoping to have an interview for you for our mini-sode. We'll see. I'm not going to drop any names yet, but let's go through some slogans that I've been listening to that are driving me nuts. So here in California, we have a homeless lobby. The homeless problem, go back and listen to my episode on why California's homelessness crisis is so bad. It's not what you think. Well, if you think that it's a crisis of policy, you're right. If you think that it's a housing crisis, you are 100% wrong on all accounts. And if you want to know the reality of what we're dealing with in California, particularly in the LA area, go sign up for the Street People of LA Instagram or Twitter. I'd do Twitter because Twitter, they can put the stuff that gets banned on Instagram. But you're talking about people in residential neighborhoods having to step over meth addicts who are masturbating in the street. Yeah, because meth amps the sex drive. And so a lot of these people are addicts. This is a sidebar, but a lot of these people are addicts. And so when you see you'll see a lot of video on this feed of like meth heads just literally having sex out in the open, literally just like over a trash can in a park or in the train station, like just kind of out where people are like it's crazy, but meth at a certain point will do this. I think after a while it makes you totally impotent. I saw y'all go to Street People of LA. I saw the craziest video on there the other day. Just like, you can't make this up. A homeless guy with no legs masturbating in the middle of the street. The homeless lobby is a very powerful lobby in California. They're very powerful political groups. And I have come to the conclusion that they don't want to solve homelessness, actually, that it's a business for them, it's an industry. And what do I always say on this show? That once you realize that your activism can make you money, it necessarily becomes corrupt. And the homeless activism is almost 100% corrupt. I would say there's 5% of homeless activists who actually care about the people on the street, and 95% are just people recycling money. So we have this homeless problem, and the state's solution is to give them free housing, which most of them will use until they get kicked out, but a lot of them won't even take. You know, they don't want the housing because it comes with some rules. But here's one of the slogans. Homes, not handcuffs. Homes, not handcuffs. That sounds nice. What does it mean? Homes, not handcuffs. Whose homes? My home, the home that I pay a pretty penny for in Orange County, California. I moved out of the hood so I don't have to live next door to homeless people and to drug addicts. And I'm not going to apologize for that because I did my time, folks. And you know what? It's not that glamorous. It really isn't. And there are a lot of people out there who don't want help. And I can go to the places where those people are and help them, but I am not going to raise my kids around them. If you want to, more power to you. Homes, not handcuffs. Well, who are the homes for? Did that guy, the homeless man who is legless, no legs, and masturbating in the middle of the sidewalk in a residential area in Los Angeles, are you saying he should have a home, a free home? He should have a home instead of handcuffs while there are 5-year-old children walking by him trying to go. And by the way, if you're saying, why don't they call the police cannot arrest them. Homes, not handcuffs. We have a homes, not handcuffs policy in the LA area particularly, but throughout California. What are you saying? If somebody commits a crime because they're homeless, instead of taking them to jail, we should give them a house. Now, you don't get to be given a house. If you're a taxpayer, you go to work, you're struggling to raise your family, and you're in debt to the IRS because the taxes just keep piling up and piling up, even though you're working and working and working. You don't get a free house. You get more taxes. You get more regulations. You get more punishment. But that guy, homeless guy, legless homeless guy, caught on the Street People of LA account, he should get the free home. Homes, not handcuffs. Does it mean that we prefer to put people in homes instead of handcuffs? Does it mean that? If it does, I can get down with that because you want to solve homelessness. You don't want to be just punishing vagrancy. You don't want to just punish homelessness. You want to help turn people's lives around. But you know what? Some people can't have their lives turned around unless they get the handcuffs first. They got to go to jail where they dry out. But moreover, they have to pay for their crimes. They have to pay for the crime of vagrancy. Vagrancy is a crime in most places. I think vagrancy laws have been lifted in LA, if I'm correct, but I'm not totally sure. I just know that the police can't arrest them. Homes, not handcuffs. Should any of these people be in handcuffs? If you are lighting fires in the back of a private residence or a business, should you be in handcuffs? If you are shooting up next door to a school, should you be in handcuffs? If you are half naked and masturbating in the middle of the street, should you be in handcuffs? Yes, the answer is unequivocally yes. I did a trial. I had the opportunity to be on a jury, and the guy that he was on trial for a burglary or something. And homeless guy, not without a home. He had a home, but he was a drug addict. And so he had left home and he lived in the park, because he lived in this park in Anaheim. That's a very well-known park, very close to Disneyland. That's a very well-known park for homeless people and that are mostly drug addicts. And it's dangerous. It's a very dangerous place. And he'd been arrested multiple times for vagrancy and public drunkenness and public intoxication, off and on. And typically you have to let those people go. You can't hold them. You can't force them into any kind of care. He'd always be back out into the streets until one day he broke into a woman's home, scared her half to death. She had her 3 small children. He broke into her back door, pushed her aside, stole her purse, and ran out the front door. And thankfully it didn't escalate further than that. That guy was homeless. He should have handcuffs. You don't give that guy a home. You put him in jail. And then maybe when he's really hit rock bottom, which is basically what his family was begging us to do, by the way. His mom, his dad, his sisters, they all testified. They were supposedly character witnesses, but I think that they were so sick of it. They were basically asking us to convict him. They wanted him to go to jail because it was the only way that he was going to get help. They couldn't force him into rehab, and they couldn't pull him off the street into their home because he was dangerous. Homes, not handcuffs. Sounds good. What does it mean? My body, my choice. This is one of my favorite ones. What does that mean? My body. Well, on the surface, I guess it means it's my body. And if I want to carry this person, then, I can carry a life. And if I don't want to carry a life, then I can carry a baby. Then I can do whatever I want with this body. It's my body. It's my choice. Well, what if it's somebody else's body? Is it still your choice? So if the person that is inside of you is a growing human being, then I guess you can do whatever to your body, right? Like there's a lot of pregnant women who drink and smoke and take drugs and do all kinds of stuff to their body. That's the choice they're making. But when you do something to your body, when you choose to do something to the body of another person, then that is an aggressive act. My body, my choice. The problem is that pro-lifers really think that the body inside of you is its own body. It's its own organism, which scientifically speaking it is. So I always hate that one. I found this one. I was looking at the slogans for different political organizations, and this one says, "People of quality don't fear equality." I've seen it on a few t-shirts and bumper stickers. People of quality don't fear equality. Who fears equality? Who is it that is fearing equality? Is it any of us? Dear listeners, in this listening audience, liberal or conservative, left or right, even if you're a black supremacist or a white supremacist, do you fear equality? I don't think anybody fears equality. I think that there are people who fear prejudice or bigotry, but there's no one that fears equality. Not in groups like ours, right? This listening audience, the layman. The people who fear equality are the elitists. People of quality don't fear equality. And yet right now we're living in a time when people divided by class are more unequal than ever. While the rich and the wealthy and the well-connected in the political class can go get their hair done and go travel and send their kids to private schools and continue on with their social lives, like going to dinners at the French Laundry. The rest of us have been forced to leave our homes, close our businesses, go without seeing family for a year or more. If this slogan is true and you apply it to the elitist class, then maybe we need to admit we're not electing people of quality into our leadership positions. And also, just like with the hate has no home here sign, you don't mean that either. Or you're saying something about yourself. Because there's a lot of you out there who think that people like me should be censored and banned from the internet. Go back and listen to my censorship episodes, all like 4 of them. This idea keeps coming up. But there are a lot of you out there who would wear this shirt and not even think about saying we need to ban certain books, we need to take certain people off the internet, we need to ban certain social media accounts. That's not equality. You don't want equality. Well, Kira, I don't tolerate intolerance. I hate hate. You don't make no damn sense. That's a really nice slogan to put on a shirt, but it means absolutely nothing unless you're going to apply it equally. I mean, you're talking about equality, and you're not. Again, the person that would wear a shirt like that, it tells me that, in fact, their points of view are inherently unequal, and they don't look at everybody as equal to them. And that is, everybody thinks that equality and tolerance is supposed to be easy, right? The very definition of tolerance is tolerating something that you don't like, putting up with something or someone that you don't like. It's not tolerance if you're putting up with someone you love and have a great time with and agree with. That's not tolerance. Tolerance has some measure of risk to it. So does equality, by the way, folks. To support equality, true equality, that has a measure of risk to it. Because you're also going to end up supporting equality for people that you don't like and that you kind of wish would go away. So take off that shirt, please.
Politics are becoming more and more divisive every day. My name is Colin Jackson. I'm the co-host of Not Another Political Podcast, where we reject popular opinions and prioritize solutions over partisan dogma. Download Not Another Political Podcast on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast entertainment today.
The future is female. I've seen this one. The future is female. Woo. That gave me the shivers. What does this mean? What's the present? I would say the what is whatever you are at that time. The present, if you're a woman and you're in the present and you're speaking, then the present is female. You know what I mean? The future is female. What does this mean? Are we eliminating males? Are we taking guys off the table here? Are we taking men off the table completely? Or what does this mean? That women will be in leadership and only women? Or that women will fill at all of the public positions and men will be relegated to, I don't know, like domestic servitude? Or what does the future is female mean? I mean, and I'm not even being facetious now. I'm not even saying like, you guys, you feminists, that's so stupid. Women are the worst. Like, I'm not trying to say that. This is one of those phrases that is absolutely banal. It means nothing. It literally means nothing. What does the future is female mean? It means nothing. Not to mention, according to some rules, that to be that gender specific is quite offensive. I mean, if you're going to play by those rules that you set up, then saying something like the future is female seems... I mean, what is female? What is female? What does that mean? What does it mean to be female? Tell me the qualities of a female. And then, yeah, please tell me the qualities of a female. Mr. Progressive Leftist who put this on a t-shirt. Tell me the qualities of a female. And then tell me how those qualities represent the future. And I want you to include all of your cohorts in this conversation on the progressive left so that we know. I'm particularly interested in hearing you describe what it means to be a female. I found one. I was looking at political slogans, and I found one from the 1960s that was like, this really stood out to me. And I think it's a great slogan, actually, not because of the message it sends, but because it's pretty clear. Better dead than red. I mean, don't get much clearer than that. Better dead than red. I guess, like, I don't know if I agree with it. I have some family members who are avowed communists, and I love them very much. And I wouldn't want them to die. And I know, folks, I don't have any influence over my family members. It's crazy. But yes, I have a couple of older people in my family who are avowed communists and will tell you with a straight face that everything we hear about North Korea is propaganda and that it's actually an ideal society. I swear. I just thought that was like a funny one. Like, oh, okay, well, we definitely know what this slogan means. I kind of appreciate the clarity. Of course, the mother of all slogans, make America great again. Oh, listen, never has a better, you tell me one better slogan. Forget about the politics of it. You tell me one slogan that is better. I should go and find who made that. And I hope that person is very wealthy. Whoever thought that slogan up is a freaking genius. Now, the flip side of it is right. If we're being intellectually honest about it, there are a lot of people who will look at it and say, when was America great? Like, explain to me what the great is that we're getting back to. Is it the slavery era? Is it Reconstruction? Is it Jim Crow? Is it LA riots era America? Like, make America great again. What does that mean? And I agree that this is why I think it's an amazing slogan, to be honest. It's sufficiently vague, but just specific enough to get people excited about it. And I think this is more the power of Trump than the slogan, but it is so easily, how do you say this? How should I put this? Manipulated that you can, and so well known that you can use it for your own. It's a cultural reference. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's a cultural touch point. So I think I've told you guys the story about going to London and seeing a message on the side of the bus for like some kind of service. I can't even remember what it was. It was like some social justice thing. And it was like, make equality great again or something like that in London. You know, and when you want to joke about something on the internet and you will, hey, let's do this. Yeah, let's make eating hamburgers great again. Let's make cocktails great again. I went to the Women's March. I went to a couple during the Trump administration, and there were signs all over the place. Make women great again. Make tolerance great again. Make female sisterhood great again. Like, whatever. They were using his language, and I think that is such a subtle victory for anybody. Like, just putting the politics aside, I mean it, just putting the politics aside. Mother of all slogans, best slogan to date ever, certainly aided by the personality behind it, no doubt. It's a cultural touch point that seems like it's never going to go away. I have a lot of respect for that. But in the context of this episode, yeah, it's a bit that it's sufficiently vague. What do we mean when we say make America great again? And perhaps as supporters of that idea or the man behind the idea, perhaps we do want to be able to explain that, to parse that out. So if somebody says, well, America hasn't been that great, exactly when are you pointing to, or what do you mean? You can have an answer for that. If you don't have an answer for that, then maybe you need to reconsider why it is you're supporting a guy like Trump. Resist. That's it. Resist. Hashtag resist. When we got Trump, there's a lot of people who are like, resist. We have to resist. Resist what? Again, resist is sufficiently vague. It could be just resist what? What did Trump do that had to be resisted except be elected? I don't know. Resist is like one of those things that you throw up there and you think everybody, you put a fist on a poster and you put hashtag resist underneath it, and it can go for anything. It can literally go for anything. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I think hashtag resist is a good hashtag because it is so vague and meaningless. Resist what? Just like MAGA, make America great again, just like those people should have to explain what they mean by like making America great again. What greatness are you referring to? I think people who use hashtag resist should have to explain what they're resisting. specifically. But I also kind of like it because it's vague enough that it can be used by anybody. And it's a way into a conversation with somebody who maybe wouldn't have already been willing to have that conversation with you. Right? They might think you're on the same side. Like, I would love to be able to interview a lot more liberals on this show, especially for these mini-sodes, but it's hard to get someone to talk to me. It is. I have to meet, usually what has to happen is I have to be invited to their show. And I have to meet them. And then they see, oh, she's like, okay, she's pretty cool. I'll talk to her. And then I formed a relationship, and then I can ask. But it is so hard just to reach out to liberal personalities to have them on. They don't want anything to do with me because they think they know me. They think they've already been judged. You know, they don't believe in equality. Hate has a home in their heart. Like, they've already judged me. But maybe if I come at them with a thing like a hashtag resist, hey, we're on the same side, hashtag resist, that's a way into the conversation. I don't know. This reminds me, though, one of the people I want to have back. I did a podcast, a whiskey podcast. I'll post that on my Davis Nation page. Go to davisnation.locals.com and sign up for the subscription there, and then I'll post the Whiskey and Women podcast that I was on. Had so much fun. It was before the election. But the woman that I was on with is a whiskey sort of professional. I don't know what you call her, whiskey taster. I don't know. And she sent me an email. I keep forgetting to email her back. I hope she's not mad at me. But that said she had a wonderful confrontation or conversation with a neighbor who's a Trump voter, and she's not. She's liberal, but they came to some kind of understanding. I wanted to hear more about that, so I think I'm going to ask her to come on and explain that. Sidebar. I don't have time for a sidebar. This is a 30-minute episode. What am I doing? Love is love. Ugh, come on. Love is love. This is a slogan that was developed by by LGBT lobbyists, lobby groups. And of course it means it doesn't matter if you're gay, if you love the same sex, so the way you love is love. Love is love, but it's not, and they don't mean it. Because they don't mean that your love is love, the way that you love. If I have to read one more article about how women are suppressed in marriage, or they're basically sexual slaves, or what did I see the other day? Somebody said that, you know, there's a conservative guy and he's married to a black woman, and it was Bill Burr. It was the comedian Bill Burr. He had like some routine on race, and of course somebody got a bug up their butt about it on social media, and his wife, who is black, came out and said, y'all calm down. Like, this is fine. And then somebody said, oh, well, you know, sometimes white men fetishize black women, and they make them basically sexual slaves. And some black people don't know that that's what they've being made. Like, totally insulting. Why wasn't love love? Why isn't love love? For all of you feminists out there who think that it's some kind of patriarchal oppression for a man to get down on one knee and offer her a ring and make her his wife, well, love is love. For all of those people who think that men who go to work so their wives can stay home and raise their kids, if you think that that's terrible, well, guess what? Love is love, and that's how these people love each other, so leave them alone. You don't believe love is love. You don't believe that. It's a slogan that doesn't mean it. Love is love. If love is love, then we're going to apply this across the board. Across the board. Love is love. It means some people love what they love. And some people love who they love. And it's none of your business. Love is love. And the way these two rednecks love each other, it's the same way. It's the same way that you gay guys, that you gay couples love each other. I hate to tell you, it's the same kind of love, I guess. Love is love. All right, well, when it's time to put that to the test, can it be put to the test? And another slogan from the LGBT lobby, human rights are not negotiable. Bullshit. Sorry. My producer's going to have to edit that one out. Yeah, that's BS. Because we are currently in the midst of a time when human rights have absolutely been made negotiable. You have the right to operate your business and send your kid to school, and you have the right of mobility and travel in this country. These are human rights. And we now have a government who's telling you can't do these things. So apparently they are negotiable. You can't do these things for the greater good because of this virus. So I guess they are negotiable. So that's a lie too. All right. Keep my promise. I'm going to end it here. Whenever you're out and about and you see some slogans, start examining what's behind those slogans. Don't just be satisfied with letting them, because that's what they're supposed to do, right? They're supposed to be vague enough that it gives you a feeling, but it doesn't give you a thought. So put a thought behind it. And if you see any slogans this week that made you think, write to me, JLTY at protonmail.com, JLTY at protonmail.com. And send me your slogans and what you learned or what you didn't learn, or what, if you had any revelations about what it meant, let me know. All right. We did it. It's a mini-sode. Catch us at on our regular show, Just Listen to Yourself with Kira Davis. And don't forget to join me over at davisnation.locals.com for more access to me and more discussions like this. Talk to you later.
The FCB Radio Network. First class broadcasting worldwide.